and welcome to our math videos for today. So I know this week we had about 2 quizzes that we did or will be doing. So remember, those videos are still in the template. You can always go back and review or email me if you have any questions. But for today, we are doing our introduction to rates on Khan Academy. Ratios again. Well, a ratio compares two quantities numerically. A rate can be used to tell us how much something costs, how much something increases, and how much something decreases. We'll be using our units and a quantity to compare. Much like our ratios, we can use division. I brought this technique up before. I'll go more into it. DMSB and sometimes R or dad, mom, sister, brother, and rover. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and times a remainder to figure out what a rate is. In our ratio, we use division to find equivalent fractions. If we could use a series of quantities to the same smallest fraction, it was considered equivalent. Here's our example: 3 over 15, 6 over 30, and 9 over 45 can all be reduced to 1 over 3. Here is our justification. Divide 3 by 3, you get 1. Divide 50 by 3, you get 5. And notice I'm using the same number for both the top and the bottom. 6. If you divide 6 by 6, you get 1. Divide 30 by 6, you get 5. If you divide 9 by 9, you get 1. If you divide 45 by 9, you get 5. Again, dividing by the same number or same rate. Rates are a different kind of equivalent. When you're decreasing or increasing by a rate, the rate will usually stay the same. Much like our number lines at sea level, increasing up, our gain, or decreasing down, our loss, the rate will stay the same. Here's our example again. During another walk around the block, you run into Miss Pilto and her dog Govinda again. You know he is 19.3 inches tall when he's on his hind legs. Almost as tall, he is almost 1/3 of Miss Pilto's height when standing. You asked to see pictures of him as a puppy. So here's him at about 2 weeks old and him about 7 weeks old. Yeah, he's 7 there. Is this cutest little puppy? Look at the little jelly bean paws, cute. You see how tiny and cute Govinda was as a puppy. You asked Miss Pilto how small he was exactly. Miss Pilto tells you it took 6 months for Govinda to reach 1/3 of her height when standing on his back legs. So now we're back to decoding. Miss Pilto tells you it took Govinda 6 months to reach 1/3 of her height when standing. What do we know? He is 19.3 inches tall when he stands on his hind legs, and it took him 6 months to reach that standing height. Where's the rate? Let's ask. How much did he grow each month to reach his present standing height? So our rate is how much he grew each month. What's our strategy? I'm going to use dad, mom, sister, brother, and sometimes R to figure out my rate. Dad is divide, mom is multiply, sister subtract, brother bring down, and rover is remainder. What do we need to divide in order to figure out our rate of growth? 19.3 over 6 will give us our rate. I understand this can be a little bit confusing too because we're using a decimal in this. Let's not worry too much about that. We're going to start off with our whole number right here first. First, I need to divide. Can 6 go into 19? Yes, because 6 times 3 is 18. That's where our multiply comes in. So we know we have to divide, and then multiply comes in. 6 times 3 is 18. Next, I have to subtract 18 from 19.3. I make another problem to move it the decimal right because I know I got to put 6 into 1.3. So instead, what I am going to do is I'm going to kind of flip this in a way where I turn 1.3 into a whole number of 13. 6 can go 13 twice, giving me 2. Then I'm going to pull this one up here. It's kind of an odd trick, so if you want to use it different, you're more than welcome to. So my average rate of growth is 3.2. Yes, 3.21. I make another problem to get that remaining decimal in there. So Govinda grew about 3.20 inches longer, as in his length, each for 6 months. Is that a little confusing? Just keep up with the dad, mom, sister, brother. And now for our enrichment. Now for a more complex sort of rate using the golden ratio. Your rates may need to be compared as you venture onward through Khan Academy. Compare greater and lesser, least to greatest. You may need to divide, multiply, add, or subtract. So let's look at the rate of the sequence. Here is our first set of the sequence: 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, and 89. The sequence does not increase by a single rate. However, we can track the rate with a formula. Here's an example of that formula, which we've seen before. So we took the first two numbers of the sequence, 0 plus 1 equals 1, 0, 1 dash 1. So we can kind of see where it starts from. That 1 is right here. Our sequence starts with 0, 1. We added 0 and 1 and got 1 again. I've also turned it into a variable. F stands for Fibonacci, and 1 stands for the first number in the sequence. So Fibonacci 1 is 0. Fibonacci 2 is 1, which gives me Fibonacci 3, which is 1. I'm tracking the rate by using this formula, how much one number increases to the next. F2 plus F3 equals 1 plus 1 equals 2. F3 plus F4 equals 1 plus 2 equals 3. F4 plus F5 equals 2 plus 3 equals 5. F5 plus F6 equals 3 plus 5 equals 8. F6 plus F7 equals 5 plus 8 equals 13. F7 plus F8 equals 8 plus 13 equals 21. If I notice something about these rates, the rate between 2 and 3 is adding 1. My rate is 1. If I look at the rate between 2 and 3, I'm adding 1 to that rate. So my rate is continuously going up by that number 1. Same thing for 3 and 5. I'm adding 3, so I go 1, 2, and 3. Those numbers have a constant rate, consistently adds 1 each time. Here's my takeaway. As you continue rates, you may have a consistent rate. You may have a rate that is equal to time or one that increases over time. Read your problems. Pull out your keywords. Make sure you know what the problem's asking you, and stay happy and stay healthy.